Okay. So, I don't even know if I'm set up properly. I thought that I was set up properly. But now, is it set up properly? Is it? Like, what's this? Okay. Right. So, significant improvement on the last little while. I had my camera ready. My volume was right. The speaker was the right speaker. Yeah. So, I'm still not ready though in here, okay, in thing, because anyway, it's good to be back in this rhythm, and it's good to be doing this, and it's good to be here again, and I'm glad I'm doing this. And I'm still taking a while between getting up and getting here. And I'm not sure what that is, if I've got like a placeholder for some other activity that I'm not doing. Um, anyway, the thing was that I managed to come down at 7 this morning, and I came here and I put my cup of chai on the desk, and I was so excited and so happy to be here, and I just smiled, and I went and I got the laundry going, and the dishes are already washed, the counters are all clean, the floor's clean, the cats are fed. I mean, I'm not even trying, and it's happening. It's happening. And I was so happy to be here. I'm at work. I don't need to worry about offending anybody or doing the wrong thing or not saying good morning or saying good morning in the wrong tone of voice or working too fast or making jokes that aren't funny. I don't need to worry about anything. I'm here in paradise, in my little paradise world that my partner made for me. Goodness me, so bizarre and weird and amazing that I'm happy. And I know there are times when I say, I'm not happy and I'll never be happy ever again and my whole life was wasted. But I'm starting to acknowledge that you're right when you say to me, you have happy patches. Yes, yes, you're right. I do have happy patches. I'm still sad. My body still hurts. My heart still aches. My stomach's still in a knot. I have a whole lot of really intense, miserable physical sensations of fear and anxiety that make it very hard to think clearly. But I'm starting to get on top of them. You know. So it was very good yesterday reading a story. It was very good. I think I'm going to do that again. It helped me calm down. It helped me focus. It helped me realize that what I'm doing here is practicing how to behave in public at so many levels. Um, Yesterday, when I was reading the story, I was feeling the excitement and the pride. You know, South Africa was my country for how many years? 10 years. And I loved it, and it was my home, you know, it was my place. I thought that I was going to be there forever. I thought that that's, and reading the story of the rugby match yesterday, and thinking of the people, and knowing in my heart that, yeah, knowing in my heart what had happened and how it had happened and who was who and which type of person was what type of person, and how the society worked and how everything fit together. I think one of the hardest things when I came to New Zealand was I had to go and ask somebody how much a stamp was. And I just felt so stupid, so childish. And I just sort of laughed, and she was a young woman, like a sort of an 18 or 20-year-old, really horrid. And she was just, just stampers. Where are you from? Yeah. It's horrible to feel like you don't belong and you're not wanted. And my experience of being in New Zealand has been strong, of not putting in and not being wanted at all. However, be that as it may, what I was saying was, reading the book yesterday made me aware that I still am very vulnerable to coming across emotions in public. And even though I'm with a group of people and working with a group of people who allow me to be very restrained and quiet, probably not quiet, more loudmouth and thoughtless, but keep myself emotionally together. And when I was reading yesterday and I was feeling the emotions of that rugby match and the excitement and the camaraderie of all the different people from all the different walks of life, yeah, I knew that if there were emotional bits in books, and when I'm recording, I can just put it away if I cry or if I stumble or something. But if I'm coming here like this and reading in public, so yeah, I'm going to carry on because I had that realization. And I found that if what I'm doing is presenting myself and presenting the people around me, then it's terribly important that I should be able to be in control of my situation and my space that I'm in. And so I will start by reading. It's different from talking. When I'm talking, this is all me and my thoughts and where I'm going with this. When I'm interacting with people, it's very difficult because I have to remember who I am and I have to try and be appropriate to where they're at. But this reading a story, this is quietly on my own, engaging with another person's thoughts. And like doing it here in public, so I have to keep my emotions under control and level without becoming elevated, is what the psychiatrists say. They become elevated. So first of all, I'll check in, and then I will read a story, and that makes me happy. And then I will jump into Mint.me and see what's happening in the community and see. I think I should be selling tokens now because I've bought a whole lot of tokens. Now I think that I need to sell them again. Really? Is that what we need to do? Okay, I'm not sure how it works. So I'll start at the beginning, which will be the checking in thing. I had a really good, productive day yesterday. I achieved the things that were on the list. I did some research into crowdfunding. I realized that I don't like crowdfunding. The type of marketing that I like can apply to crowdfunding, but that's a very big barrier at the moment to where I'm going, is that I'm not sure that I like these models. I'm not sure that I want to pay 5%. I think there are other deals, other ways of doing it. Are there? I went and looked on MintMe and had a look at some of the MintMe options, and then checked with the AI what it thought, or the LLMs, and it gave me some more suggestions of different platforms like MintMe, where you can mint an NFT and sell an NFT. So I'm quite liking that thought. Maybe I should make some NFTs around Caught in the Crossfire. And oh, sorry, I'm thinking thoughts, thinking of Dude, Where's My Wallet? I'm thinking of Satori D's video that he put up this morning about MetaMind, and getting distracted. You see, I have to be able to learn to do this. I need to be able to stay on task and focus and present a topic. Yesterday I did the crowdfunding. I don't really like these crowdfunding platforms. I am investigating MintMe. People say there are problems and issues with MintMe. I like the idea of being my own bank and creating my own value and exchanging my value with other people who've created their value. Yeah. It was interesting and informative. I didn't work very hard on it, but I did do a lot of thinking about it. And then I spent some time in a meeting on the project, on a Navicavada meeting, where we were talking about the meeting on the Seventh Seal, and I showed the work that I did yesterday. I got some feedback, worked a little more on the video. Yeah, have kind of made a mistake. Should have saved some versions of the video. Made a version, didn't like it, changed it. Made a version, didn't like it, changed it. Would have been a good idea to save some of the different variations so we could talk through them and decide what was working for the message that we were generating. Wow, it's complicated working with another person to generate a joint message, hey? A third mind. Man, it brings a lot more. You're expected to bring a lot more to the table when it's the two of you. Anyway, I mean, it's a much better project than if it was just one. It was a much better project than if I was doing it alone. I mean, looking back at what I did with Caught in the Crossfire, it was very old. It was very, very early days. It was one of the very first things I ever did, I think. And yet, yeah, needs a lot of work. Okay, so I think that I'm pleased with that. And then afterwards, I spent quite a lot of time with the LLM again, and downloading, categorizing the poems, getting a lot of the admin done, and then had another meeting with Vinemetrics and discussed what changes they want to the draft video that I made. So that was really productive. On the table today, and then, oh goodness, I've left out the most exciting part, was then it was raining and miserable. So I went upstairs after the meeting. I had some lunch. No. I did the dishes and I cleaned up around the thing before lunch. And then as the lunch was cooking, I was going to go for a quick walk, but it started drizzling and raining. So I sat down and I played on my cell phone, and it was so good. It was sort of like a little, I don't want to say reward, but reward. You know, I'd done the work, and then I was just goofing off with the cell phone, scrolling through X, or what was I doing? I think I was playing this game where you have to stack. You have to stack all the different colored coins on themselves, so they're all, you know, like when you're 3 and you make color coding. And then after lunch, it had stopped raining enough for me to go for a quick 7-minute, 30-second walk. So I'm really pleased. And then I went back and then I did some more. I cleaned out the cupboards, I cleaned out the bins, I changed the rubbish. I've got the rubbish ready to go out. I just, yeah, I just took a step up with the amount of effort that I'm putting in. So yeah. And then, as I say, I just spent the evening with admin. Today, yeah, making this decision about doing this reading in the mornings. I think that's a good thing for me to do. And then caught in the crossfire today. Caught in the crossfire today is I've been looking forward to that all week. I'm going to jump into those old videos. I've done one run through of listening to the story again, listening to the recordings, getting an idea of the dialogue that I've got to work with there, and how to convert the scenes, the description into a narration. So that's coming along. I think that there's a lot of possibility in that. And then the thought of generating the sounds, with the LLM or with one of the music generator apps. We did talk about using the BBC library of sound effects. But wouldn't it be so much more fun just to make our own just because we can? Just because we can. Yeah. So lots of things happening there. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. And I thought that what I would try to do while tidying up those videos and making them presentable again, leveling them up, is to maybe try and take out some of the interviews, highlights from some of the interviews that I did with my mom. Because now that she has lost her voice, I don't think anybody's heard her speak. The nerve in her throat has become paralyzed from Parkinson's. So she can only sing like this, and she can hardly talk, and it's very hard and horrid for her. So I just thought it would be lovely for my family if we had a little snippet of Mom talking, and then doing it as a fundraiser. I could make a little video, a little promo video of the book, and the behind the scenes of the artist. And then we could sell those as the NFTs, the artifacts, on Artisan. And that might be a crowdfunding thing that might add value to my family. Anyway, so lots of thoughts bubbling up. The implementation is still in the very early infancy stages. But watch this space. I am determined that this is going to be an actual thing. All right, so I have that to do today, and I'm looking forward to it, and it's fun. I have a meeting this afternoon with some more members of the community, and we're going to talk about ethics and LLMs and what it feels like, I think, to be a developer. Not that I am, but we're going to be talking about what it feels like to be a developer and not know how the technology that you're developing is going to be used. Are you going to trust other people with what you've built? That was the snag that we ran into when we were talking about the jukebox. And I miss the jukebox. Okay, too many things. I can't do everything at once. I just have to focus on what I'm doing here. What I'm doing here is doing a radio play and using the LLM to manipulate my images and audio. I'm sure that I could go to a course and do it, but I've been on so many courses and done so much studying. I just really need to start producing stuff. Okay, so I'm going to read chapter 2, Family Time, and then I'm going to go and get on with it. Oh no! I said that I was okay. After I've read, I'll go to Mint.me and see the market. Let's read the story first, and let's just focus and calm down, and get ready for the day, and settle into the space. All right, so
Chapter 2, Family Time. Jack knew that Sunday lunch, the home of his grandfather and grandmother, Guy and Glynis Summerfield, was a family tradition. It meant his grandparents got to hug their beloved children, James and Elaine, and fuss over them and catch up on their news at least once a week. Life was good for the Summerfield family, peaceful and predictable, and it seemed as if it would be so forever. Sorry. My eyes feel very sticky today. It's very cold and wet. Sorry. Maybe it's just the peaceful and predictable life. And it's good and peaceful and predictable. And it seemed as if it would be so forever. From an early age, Jack was as much at home in his grandparents' home as he was in his own. He knew that one of the simple pleasures of his grandfather's life was reading the Sunday Times. The newspaper came down from Johannesburg on the midnight train and arrived on the driveway at dawn in a plastic bag to protect it from weather and predators. Every Sunday morning, his grandfather threw his dressing gown over his shoulders, padded down the stairs in bare feet, and retrieved the paper. Then he wandered into the kitchen and made himself a huge cup of coffee. Armed with his coffee and paper, he established himself on the patio, and for the next hour or two he absorbed all the news, local and international. Is that how they did it? Really? I wonder why I never know what's going on. I need a 2-hour session a week, do I? 2-hour news briefing every week. Well, that's an interesting thought. This week, the headlines on the lead story screamed, "Drug bust! Millions seized! Major victory for Johannesburg police!" The police had been tracking the drug cartels for several years and had finally managed to break their stranglehold on a specific, particularly nefarious drug trafficking ring that had been targeting some of the high schools. The news report highlighted the role of Detective Mike Markham, who had infiltrated the gangs and worked as an undercover agent. Several high-profile arrests were made. Jack's grandfather lost no time in sharing the story with his family. "Not that we care about what goes on in Johannesburg," his grandfather said, "but do you see who was involved? Mike Markham." "Mike Markham," James said, his brown eyes wide in admiration. "So it was him." He gave a smile of delight. Mike Markham was at school with your father," his grandfather told Jack. "He was one of your best mates, wasn't he, James?" "Yes," James said, "he's a great guy. I don't know how we lost touch." "Did you see this picture? Detective Inspector Michael William Markham received his commendation from the police commissioner." "Does he still have relatives here?" Jack asked. "No, his family moved to Joburg about 20 years ago," his grandfather said. "Good old Barberton background, though. Hey? Can't help but produce heroes." They all laughed. It was an old joke, the way Guy was so proud of everything that was Barberton. They were sitting in the dining room, Guy with his bushy iron-grey hair and bristling moustache, and Jack's silver-haired grandmother, Glynis, leaning forward to hear what her daughter was saying at the other end of the long, beautiful oak table. Jack was next to his Aunt Elaine, opposite his parents, James and Rose. Everything in the room shone, from the sparkling cutlery to the cut-glass wine goblets to the silver meat platter. Glenys always served wonderful meals, and today was no exception. Sirloin with roast potatoes cooked to crisp perfection, Yorkshire pudding, a huge rectangular dish of mixed vegetables, followed by dessert, strawberries on a meringue base with dollops of thick cream. "Can't wait to hear what you thought about the rugby," his grandfather said to Jack. Jack looked at him, his heart in his eyes. "Grandad," he said, "it was the best day of my life. The Boks were beyond fantastic. And when Mandela came out and shook every hand, I felt so proud to be South African. I nearly burst." Guy smiled at his enthusiasm, and James laughed, throwing back his head, delighted with his son's obvious enjoyment of the match. He nodded and smiled at Jack. "I think it was the most exciting game I've ever watched. You saw it on TV, did you, Dad?" "I did, and I agree, it was great." Rose suddenly burst out. "Well, it wasn't great for me, being left alone while you both went off together." Her voice broke and her shoulders drooped. Jack's face burned. Surely his mother wasn't going to throw one of her tantrums. Not here, in front of the whole family. James saved the day. He turned to Rose and put his arm around her shoulders, looking deep into her eyes. "It wasn't the same without you, darling," he said. He reached for her hand and brought it to his lips. "But remember what I promised. Next month we'll all go to the Seychelles for a whole fortnight." Rose seemed slightly mollified, and the moment was over. Jack looked at his father with a smile of relief. How did he do that? He was a wonder at diffusing Rose's moods. Jack's grandfather turned to his daughter. "What about you, Elaine, my love? You haven't had much to say." Elaine shook her head, coming out of her reverie with an abstracted look. She was a contrast to her sister-in-law's ethereal beauty, with her brown shoulder-length hair and her dark brown eyes with golden flecks. Both women were slim, but Rose had a fragile appearance, as if she could easily break, whereas Elaine was more strongly put together, down to earth and practical. "Sorry, Dad, I'm so busy getting ready for the school camp next week. I think it's never going to be organized in time, and it will just prove Mynheer de Villiers is right. He thinks I'm a bleeding heart with big ideas that'll never work." His words, not mine. Close your ears, Jack. You shouldn't hear my views on our headmaster. "What's this big feud with de Villiers, Elaine? He's an excellent fellow. I play golf with him. I quite often play golf with him," his grandfather said. "Oh, Dad, you wouldn't understand. And playing golf with someone is different from working under them and getting the rough edge of their tongue whenever you suggest improvements to the boring old system," Elaine responded. She turned her head away, frustrated. "Well, the poor fellow is facing quite a few challenges. Since the ANC took over, there's been a complete transformation of the political and economic landscape of South Africa. It was inevitable, and the education system is in unenviable upheaval and revision. You can't blame de Villiers for that." Elaine nodded. "That's true, I know. The whole culture of Barberton Hoërskool changed last year when the schools integrated. Barberton, being a dual medium school, is an interesting experiment, right? Having classes in Afrikaans or English already created a sense of two schools in one, even prior to integration," James said. "Yes, and somewhat arbitrarily. The new students with all their different home languages were dumped into the English first language class. There was little discussion or leadership from the Department of Education as the seismic change became part of the new order. James turned to Elaine. So does the fact that we now have 11 official languages affect you in the classroom at all? How do you mean? Elaine asked. We have representatives of most, if not all, of those 11 languages filling the desks, but that doesn't make any difference to our lessons. Oh, James, really? As if we care what language the students speak, Rose said, bored. Quite so, my dear, Glynis said, with a quick look at Guy. I think we're all finished here. Jump up, all of you. Let's help clear the table. I'll make coffee. I'll set the dishwasher going, Elaine said. They carried their coffee onto the patio. Glynis and Rose went off together to wander around Glynis's beloved garden. Back to what you were saying about the camp, Elaine. James returned to more practical matters. What is the problem? Well, we're taking over the campsite at Vijverboom Dam. It's not been well maintained and it needs clearing and cleaning. Well, I'll take a team of men out there tomorrow and we'll get it sorted out in no time, James said. You just need to clear that with de Villiers. I'll be donating my services, of course, and then on Tuesday we can take out the supplies. What time? I assume there'll be parents ready to receive the goodies. Yes, there will be. I've spoken to them already, and they will be there about 4. James, you're the best brother in the world. I can't thank you enough. Think nothing of it, James said. I'm sorry we can't be there. Rose has plans for next week as well as her tennis parties on Saturday. She wouldn't hear of me coming out to the camp. Speaking of which, his grandfather said, picking up a box from under the table and handing it to Jack, I got you a present. Thank you, Grandad. Jack tore open the box to reveal 4 bright orange vests. For your team, his grandfather explained. We were a bit worried about the 2 big ones for you, Dan. Both of you seem to have had a growth spurt recently and alarmingly broad shoulders. The medium is for Adam, of course, and the small for Kate. How orange will look against her head of glorious red hair, I don't know. Jack was scrabbling down to the bottom of the box. He drew out the 4 orange caps. I would say thank you, but that's not enough. I need more words. He stood up and hugged his grandfather. His grandfather hugged him back, proud of his grandson. Just then, Jack's grandmother and mother appeared. Rose is ready to go home, Glynis said to James. That signalled the breakup of the party, and Guy and Glynis reluctantly waved goodbye to their beloved family. Jack sat in the back of his father's car, fingering the team shirts. No one could have given him a better present. He sighed in complete happiness. He heard his mother say, James, why do we have to go there every Sunday? It's so boring. His father said, Rose, how can you say that? They go to such trouble and they love having us. They arrived home, and Jack found himself once again listening to the 2 of them quarrelling. The last scene with his mother was still clearly etched in his mind. It happened when his father had first put the plan to go to the rugby with her. How dare they go off and have fun without her, she had screamed. When Jack and James both assured her that she would be welcome to join them, she became more hysterical. Go to a rugby match? She wouldn't dream of it. But it's the World Cup, Jack's dad had explained. The scene, like so many others, was water under the bridge, Jack decided. Somehow his father had managed to swing it and get her to agree to the father and son outing. He knew with a sinking feeling that the present quarrel would continue for the next few hours. Jack heard his father say. I'm going out for a run with Hero. He's been alone all day. Yes, just leave me. Go, he heard his mother burst. He heard his mother burst into sobs. Then he heard Hero's happy bark at the front as the front door slammed. Jack lay back on his bed and put the earphones into his ears. Well, well, well. Okay, so chapter 3, new ideas. We're not going to do that one today. So, excellent. And now, to finish that up, I am going to jump into me and do check out to see what's going on here. What's going on here? What's happened to my... Okay. Oh, for goodness sake, I'm closing and opening the wrong windows. Right. So, let me just quickly check in on MintMe and see what's happening. This is a great mood. This is a great video if you want to see. This is... But It's such a good conversation, guys. But I'm meant to be doing work, and I've already watched it once. And I'm not bad. Gotta just check out what's happening here. Oh, I love this song. Okay, I really love this song. Okay, this is so good. Do rapping. Okay, I love it. I have to do work. I can't sit and watch these things that I love. All right, I already had time this morning to watch them, but this is my little community here. These are all my friends. Oh, look, I've got golden unfolding. Oh, I got my 23 daily tokens. Thank you, Satori. And more posts. I know what. Oh, thank you. I got this bounty too. This is a good day. I got paid for all my works yesterday. Oh, thanks, guys, for paying me. It was awesome. Oh, how come this hasn't got a finger on it? Have I not even made a... I'm sure I did. See, I did. So difficult. Always right. This one has. That one hasn't. Have they all got little thumbs? All right. Okay, now I think. So I've seen Satori's, I've seen Minds Gaming's, and hey, kitty cats, do you want to come and do some work? Let's see what Dance and Music is saying. Whoops, hold on. Minds Gaming. Hang on. What's this one? Minds Gaming. Okay. 2 hours ago. In the world of modern blockchain platforms like Mint.me, clarity matters. And one term that needs to go is mining. Here's why. You cannot mine tokens that have already been minted. Mining refers specifically to the proof of work process used in networks like Bitcoin, where tokens are created through computational effort. On Mint.me, however, tokens are pre-minted at launch. There is no mining, no energy consumption, and no block validation. That's interesting. I did not know that. I mean, if I knew how to think about that, then I would have been able to figure it out. What people often call mining here is really just earning or being rewarded. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know people called that mining. I always thought that mining was the calculations. What people call mining here is really just earning or being rewarded through staking, supporting, or participating in a token's ecosystem. This process is better described as minted magic, the act of unlocking or receiving existing tokens through protocol-defined actions. Using the term mining misleads users and confuses newcomers. It suggests that new tokens are being created when in fact they're simply being distributed. So let's call it what it is. You're not mining, you're earning, supporting, or activating value. Yes, activating value. That's what we're doing, activating value. Somebody puts something into their token shop, Like, for instance, they will write a seed script, and then you go there and you buy that from them. And so then you're all having fun and creating together and supporting each other, but you're also generating an ecosystem between the two of you, between the group of you. Very limited tokens can be mined. None of them exist on mintme.com. You're right. Staked tokens are staked tokens are earned, not mined. And even though they are minted, they require no hardware process, just code. Okay, so, well, I don't know. Should we tip? That's so fun. All right, so I'm going to share this now on X because that's a good thing to do. Yeah. And now I want to go to this other one here. And I want to go to here because this is great. You see, look, no thumb. How come there's no thumb? And Grok can't dream meme. I'm sure I've shared this one. Have I shared this one? Have I shared it? Share this one. Very good. This is so much fun. So this is the platform that I was mentioning earlier that I think is the where I want to use my where I want to do my fundraising. If I could put an item here in the token shop and you could come along and buy that item off me. But it would be difficult because it's only crypto, and so I would have to teach everybody in my family to open a wallet, to buy MintMe, to buy the thing. So, okay, so here we go, and I will just check out what's happening on my. Hang on, let me go to Satori D's market and see if I've bought all the things that I wanted to buy. Or is there some more? No, these ones are all finished. One. Should I buy these? Oh, goodness gracious me. Should I buy them? No, because I don't know how much money I've got. It's not very much. So first let me check my market before I decide what else to do on somebody else's market. And my holders have gone down to 81. They were 83. So that's interesting. 2 people have sold off to make a profit. It makes me happy. I hope you had a good experience of investing here in this happy little token. It's one day might be worth more than 2 cents. Actually, it's worth quite a lot at the moment. It's worth 15 cents at the moment. So that's pretty awesome. It was down there when it crashed right down. There it was 2 cents. That was a sad, sad day. That was a sad day. But happy day now, 15 cents. So we'll just go down here and we'll check out what's happening. This fellow put in a buy order. My luck. I'm wondering if I should beat that buy order. I wanted that yesterday. And here's the sell order that I've got here. And it looks like musician bought. This morning, did he? Oh, thank you, musician. Oh, and within you also bought. Oh, that's awesome. At 15 cents. Okay. All right. So I wonder if I should put some more out there. If you 1,000. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll add to that a little bit. After they've got 15, shall I add another same again? We'll just double that up. Okay, thanks very much for your support, guys. That's really awesome. So thanks for buying. Now, that will be where my 1,900 have come from these guys that bought the tokens off me. Nice. So I have now that's where they came from, and I need to think about how I'm going to start spending, but I'm not going to do that today because I've looked at the posts, I've looked at the markets, I've done the things that I wanted to do, and now I am going to say thank you for watching, for being with me, and that was a really good way to start my day, and I enjoyed that. That was a very nice thing to do. I'm liking being accountable like this to myself, doing the thing that I said that I was going to do. I'm just hoping that I can do it for more than a few days. But I think when I first started off on my own mission, back when I very first made my first 4-minute video, I lasted 100 days. I lasted 100 days, I think. So yeah, let me see if I can do a 100-day project of checking in every morning without ever missing. I don't know if it's even possible. I don't even know if that's possible. Anyway, we're going to try it. Righty ho, that's it. I don't really want to go and work because I'm naughty. But on the other hand, I'm so looking forward to doing those new videos. Okay, see you guys.